All right, boys and girls. Today during science class, we are going to be completing a simulation experiment that entails measuring the state of matter in given atoms and molecules. But before we begin, I'm going to refresh your memory on the material that we learned in class last week. We learned that there are three states of matter and that there are solids, liquids, and gases. We learned that solids are molecules held together by strong bonds and that they can keep their own shape and size. We learned that liquids are molecules that have weaker bonds and that they cannot keep their own shape unless they're in a container. And we learned that gases are molecules that are free to move around and that they can't keep their own shape unless they are in a sealed container. Now, it is time to begin our simulation experiment. Throughout this simulation, we will be periodically changing the temperature and pressure of neon, argon, oxygen, and water to measure the adverse effects that this places on the state of matter. We will also be using a phase diagram to check and see if our findings are accurate. We're going to start off with neon. We're going to add pressure to the neon. Notice how the neon is currently a solid. As pressure is added, the molecules spread apart and form a liquid and then a gas. Now, let's cool neon and see what happens. So the molecules are currently at a gas, but as neon is cooled, they change from a gas to a liquid to a solid. There you go. You can see they're forming closer together and the bonds are becoming stronger. They're at a liquid right now, and now they are back at a solid. Now, for argon, let's add some pressure. And once again, this pressure is going to create the solid to change to a liquid. You can see the molecules have spread apart. And of course, then to a gas. You can see they're moving very fast and spreading apart. Now, let's cool our argon. Takes a little while for the temperature to drop. You can see that the molecules are forming closer together and they're at a liquid right now. And now they're going back to a solid. Now for oxygen, let's add some pressure. You can see oxygen's currently sitting at a solid. And when pressure is added, transforms to a liquid and then a gas because the molecules are spreading apart. Now, see what happens when we cool our oxygen. Once again, our oxygen is currently at a gas right now. And continue to cool it. You can see the temperature is dropping. And soon enough, it's going to turn to a liquid. There we go. You can see that the molecules are forming closer together. They're at the critical point right now. And soon enough, they are reaching to the solid point. And last but not least, water. Let's add some pressure to our water. Our water is currently a solid right now. When pressure is added, it's at a liquid right now. And then if we add some more pressure, it's going to change to a gas. There we go. You can see that the molecules are moving very fast. Now let's take away this pressure and let's cool our water. And as you can tell, that it is changing from a gas to a liquid. Molecules are forming closer together and they're going back to a solid. And if we were to add some heat to our water, they would change from a solid to a liquid to a gas. Great job, boys and girls. That wraps up our lesson for today. Now we're going to take an assessment on the Plickers.